Good morning, class. Standard 8 History and Civics. Today, uh, subject is Civics, Salient Features of the Constitution 2. In that, Directive Principle of State Policy. That means Directive Principles of State Policy. What do you mean state policy? State policy means to welfare of the people of the state, to welfare of the needy people, poor, weaker sections, what are the necessary necessity like food, water, legal aid, everything have to provide by the state, because the constitution itself given the direction to follow, whether the state government or central government, they have to follow the directive principle of the constitutions. These are the policies: foreign policy and economic principles, Gandhian principles, principle of relating law and justice, principle of international peace and security, principle of protection of environment and wildlife. These are comes to every citizens to follow. The government to help the needy peoples. What do you mean of the directive principles? The directive principles are the guidelines to be followed by the government in the governance of the country. Part 4 of the Constitution has the directive principles of state policy under Article 36 to 51. These directive principles are not a substitute for laws of the country. They are called directive principles because the government has to take them into consideration while making laws. These principles contain lofty ideas, deep human thought, belief, and knowledge. These principles are not found in any other constitution of the world except those of India and Ireland. Only those two countries the following the rules and regulation of the directive principles. So let me go through directly. The directive principles state policy are divided into 5 parts. First part, the economic principles. In that, adequate means of livelihood for all citizens, equitable distribution of wealth, like a ration shop. If you go to the ration shop, they're below poverty level card, BPL card, below poverty level, or ECH, EWH, or EWS, weaker sections. CST, normally SCSTs are there. Fixation of equal pay for equal work, everybody is the same. Right to work, education, and public assistance in case of unemployment. Provision for human conditions to work. Everything you have to see. That's why government has given economically something. Now the corona times still is going on your state or your area side, distribution of food grains. These all the states have to look after the people. Now next we'll get Gandhian principles. Gandhian principle, why are you calling Gandhian principles? Gandhiji has insisted every village should have panchayat. So that's why this is called Gandhian principles. What is in that? Organization of village panchayat, prohibition of liquor and harmful drugs, promotion of cottage industries, prevention of slaughter of cows and milch cattle, upliftment of weaker sections, especially SCs and STs. Let's say the ration card, they'll issue rice 1 rupee kg, 2 rupees kg likewise. Every family, 5 kg, 10 kg, 20 kg, different, that is different various states, different will be comes. Tamil Nadu giving 20 kg rice free of cost. Karnataka they giving 5 kg rupees, 1 rupee. Likewise. Now I'll come to the principles relating to law, justice and administration. Because law is the uniform code, normally called UCC, Uniform Civil Code. That is called UCC, Uniform Civil Code for everyone. They have to follow. Separation of the judiciary from executive, because our judiciary is not related to political or any IAS office under or any other higher authorities. It is the independent judiciary. It will give judgment at our own. According to the law, the justice will be delivered, not by any influence, any political parties, any political leaders or any IPS or IAS. Anybody's in front of everybody is equal. Security of equal justice and free legal aid to the needy. Normally it is happen in the rural areas. There is the what you call undeveloped village. Those people don't have money to pay for legal what you call requirement. In that, government to help them to fight against the financial help, providing legal lawyer to attend their cases. Likewise. Now, principle for international peace and security. This is also important. Our India is having very good reputation at the international level. Even United Nations organizations, the number 10 non-permanent member, India also one of them. So what is that? You have to relation with other countries with the good friendship, brotherhood type. You have to respect the international law. You should not encourage the armament race. The India always fighting for the disarmaments, not to have weapon more. Likewise. Now international security and peace, promotion of peace and security, maintenance of just and honorable relations between nations, setting international dispute by arbitration, fostering respect for international laws and treaties. You have to respect each other. You have to respect international law. Now, principles for protection of environment and wildlife. You cannot go to forest and kill any animals. There is a restrictions, Protection Wildlife Act, even environmental science you have been studied. You have to protect the animals. You cannot go and kill anything for hunting purpose, killing some animals. That is unlawful. Right. Protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding the forest and wild, protection of monuments and object of historical interest. You have to keep all monuments, old buildings like Maharajas, kings are constructed like a Red Fort. Even if you go to Qutub Minar, Taj Mahal, these are monuments. You have to keep protecting them. Next, provision to protect the places of national interest. Everything you have to protect for national interest. Nobody can go and destroy it. That's why the principle for the protection of environment and wildlife. Every time, even Taj Mahal, the ozone is become a zero. This completely dust on the marbles due to environment, due to pollution, due to the air pollutions. So they are protecting everything, every monuments day to day, maintaining them. Now I'll come to the sources of directive principles. The sources, there is different country constitution, Irish constitution and Indian constitutions are there. Sources of directive principles, first is Irish constitution of 1937, the Declaration of the Rights of the Man and the Citizens of Revolutionary France, the Charter of Human Rights framed by United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi. These are the sources of the directive principles. From there they collected everything. So Universal Declaration Human Rights in the United Nations is there. Any India has fought for apartheid in South Africa, black people versus white people. They kept black people as a slave. So India also helped to remove the apartheid ways, discrimination of color and caste. So India is one of the country. Now Charter of Human Rights framed by the United Nations. Now India will say the fundamental rights. In United Nations this is human rights. Now next we'll come to the significance of directive principles. There are four categories in that. They try to set up a welfare state in India. Second point, to tell us what our constitution makers wanted to give to all of us but could not at that time. Third point, they act like a yardstick to check the success and failure of the government. Fourth point, they make the constitutional acceptable to all the political parties. A progressive party will follow them, but a conservative party may not. Some party may be agree, some party may not be agree. It's like a parliament will make any laws, even state legislative make any laws. It will go to the public opinion. So helmet, for example, helmet, different states. The Central Government Motor Vehicle Act, the implement of helmet, the riders must wear and pillion rider also must wear. Some states are implementing that order, some states are not implementing because they depend on their state people's opinion. If peoples are agree, fine, no problem. They will adopt the government policies. If not, that is not. The law will make according to people's choice only they will make. What is the benefit of the people? What is the benefit and good for the people of this country? So next, directive principles which have been implemented. This policy must be implemented and come to the work, every departments to implement. First, the panchayats have been set up as unit of self-government. Every village, every taluk, every district, we have to make a Jilla Panchayat, Jilla Samiti, Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha, so many other village level, from village level to district level. That is called local self-government. In city area, we will call corporation, there we will call Panchayat or Jilla Parishad, these type of. Next, equal pay is being provided for equal work to both men and women. Equal work, equal payment also, whether women working at the same place or men is working in the same position, the pay should be equal to everyone. The judiciary has been separated from the executive because judiciary is always separate. They are the independent body, they will function independently. They will not come under any political party or executive's pressure. Consumption of intoxicating liquor has been prohibited. Any liquor or toxicating liquor should be banned. Like alcohol, some states are implementing a wine shop will be closed. No, there is no one wine shop in these states. Like take Andhra Pradesh, even go to what do you call Haryana, Rajasthan. Some states are not implementing the liquor permitting. Like liquor is the more income, revenue is coming from the liquor shop. In Karnataka, there is a more liquor. The tax is coming from liquor. The government gets revenue from the taxes, liquor shop taxes. Next, free education is available, but the compulsory aspect has not been put into practice. The compulsory education, free education is not adapting. Nobody is doing. Government school also getting fees something. Free education says everybody get free educations, but situation is not that level. So next, the grounds on which directive principles are criticized. Every time they criticize. See, they are not properly classified. They have not produced tangible results. They are not justiciable. The directive always criticizes something is the state government giving implement, ministers, the health minister saying something, chief ministers are saying something, home minister says something. There's always a criticism will happen. Now, differences between the directive principles and fundamental rights. These are important for your exams. But for your exams, you must learn meaning of the state policy, principle of state policies, and welfare state. These two things you have to remember. These chapters, only two you have to remember. Meaning of the directive principles and welfare state. So directive principles, they are for the government to follow. These are non-justiciable. They are the guidelines to the state to attain certain set objectives. These aims to establish a welfare state. Their scope is wider. Now I'll come to the fundamental rights. These are for the citizen to enjoy. These are justiciable. If anybody's fundamental rights violated, he can go to the court and track any person's violating. That is, you can enjoy. Not like that policy directive principle, they're not like that. These are justiciable. They are a certain kind of restriction on the state, the dependent state. Some of them, like Tamil Nadu, all women traveling in the bus free of cost in this city level. In Karnataka is not there. In other states also not implementing. Some states are implementing, some states are not. To aim to establish political democracy, political rights, you have right to vote, you have to right to choose the representatives, MLAs, corporators or MPs. Their scope is limited. This is limited. Certain restriction is there, you have to follow that. So this one, your chapter, very small chapters. So directive principles is the constitutional level, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, These all continuations. Even the prime ministers giving policy they're making, like what do you call Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, that is the Kisan Yojana farmers. The new scheme, they remove the previous capping of premium to so that farmers get full sum insured. The farmers' contribution to premium reduced significantly. Multiple localized risk and post-harvest losses taken into account to ensure that no farmer is alone in time of distress. Use of simple and smart technology through phones and remote sensing for quick estimation and easily settlement of claims. That means any farmer's natural climate is destroying their field, whatever the crops have been grown due to wind, due to rain, due to flood, their farmers will affect. For them, Prime Minister has brought it this policy on January 13, 2016. That policy is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Now, this all completely the day to day, the central government also, state government also, improvement of the farmers also doing the welfare. Next, Janata Dan Yojana. These all accounts. Now, last Prime Minister says every farmers will get 6,000 per year to their accounts. It's a welfare. Any losses come to, they will meet that loss. So economic welfare means the state government has abolished the Jamindar system. And previous it was Jamindar system, landlord. What do you say, that only is final? No. That Jamindar system that removed. Introduced the land reform program to away with the old feudal socio-economic structure of rural India. A right to fair compensation and transparency in the land acquisitions, rehabilitations and resettlement bill 2013 was passed by the parliament in September 2013. This act came into force from January 1st, 2014. The act aims to establish law on land acquisitions as well as the rehabilitations and resettlement of those directly affected by the land acquisition in India. That means the farmers giving land to government. Acquisition, government is doing acquisition like a Mysore road, nice road. The farmers have given the land to the government to widen the road, to putting the road, constructing the bridge. So likewise, the acts for the fair compensation to those whose land is taken away, transparency in the process of acquisition of land set by the factories or buildings, infrastructural projects, and assures rehabilitation of those affected. The act was replaced Land Acquisition Act 1894, the nearly 120 years old law enacted during British rule. Nationalization of banks, insurance companies and some key industries have been done to ensure that ownership of material resources of community are so distributed so as obtain best service of common good. In order to ensure just payment to workers and equal pay for equal work, the payment of wages governed by the government, which has enacted legislation to the effect that the payment be made according to the Minimum Wages Act 1948 as amended from time to time. They will amend, government will be amend, that is parliament do the amendment work. So these are the directive principles foreign policy, economic policy, state welfare. These are part of very small chapters. The only you have to learn for was direct principle of state policy meanings. One, next, welfare state. What are the welfare government is providing for farmers, every people of this country? There is a weaker sections, that is called SC/STs. Government doing so many things to the people. Those people don't have any house, they are giving house to them, constructing and giving them. Those are living in hut house, the government is providing shelter for the uh, concrete roof houses. So likewise is the welfare states. That is the guidelines of the central government as well as state government to follow through. Good morning class. Stay safe. Stay home.